Husband secretly planning for divorce by hiding money and following his mother's advice was the ultimate betrayal. He thought he could leave me with nothing, but he didn't realize I found the secret ledger and the tapes of their coaching sessions. I stood in the laundry room, clutching a pair of my husband's jeans. The dryer was still humming, a warm, comforting sound that usually made me feel at peace. But as I reached into the back pocket, my fingers brushed against something cold, something hard. It was a small, encrypted USB drive. My husband, Simon, was an accountant. He was the kind of man who kept his shoes in original boxes, and his feelings even more tightly packed. We've been married for 12 years. I thought we were happy. We had the house in the suburbs, the golden retriever, the joint vacations. But lately, the air in our home felt thin. Simon was always in his office. His mother, Evelyn, was always on the phone. Evelyn never liked me. She viewed me as a temporary distraction from Simon's true potential. I took the drive to my laptop. My heart was pounding against my ribs like a trapped bird. I tried his birthday, incorrect. I tried our anniversary, incorrect. Then I tried Evelyn's maiden name, access granted. I stared at the screen, and for a moment, I forgot how to breathe. It wasn't just a spreadsheet, it was a roadmap. Roadmap for my own destruction. There were folders titled Asset Diversion, Custody Strategy, and the Exit. Simon had been funneling money out of our joint accounts for 3 years. He'd been buying cryptocurrency, gold bullion, and offshore stock, all while telling me we couldn't afford a new car because the market was tight. But that wasn't the real secret. I clicked on a folder labeled Mom's Advice. Inside were recorded voice memos. I hit play on the first one. Simon, darling. Evelyn's voice crackled through the speakers. You have to be clinical. If she suspects anything, she'll take half. Remember what I told you. Never let a woman know your true net worth. Keep her comfortable, keep her distracted, and when the time is right, we cut the cord. I felt a wave of nausea so strong I had to grip the edge of the desk. My husband wasn't just leaving me, he was coaching for a kill. He was waiting for our daughter to turn 10, the age his custody experts said would be easiest to manipulate. I thought that was the worst part, but I was wrong. Because as I scrolled to the bottom of the ledger, I saw a transaction from last Tuesday, a $50,000 payment to a private investigator, assigned to me. He wasn't just hiding money. He was trying to manufacture a reason to deny me alimony. He was looking for a scandal that didn't exist. I sat in the dark for hours. The house was silent. Simon was at late-night drinks with clients. Evelyn was likely tucked in her bed, dreaming of the day I'd be gone. I realized then that I had two choices. I could confront him tonight and let the lawyers battle it out over the scraps he'd left behind, or I could follow Evelyn's advice. I could be clinical. I spent the next month being the perfect wife. I made his favorite dinners. I listened to him complain about work. I even invited Evelyn over for Sunday brunch. I watched her sip her mimosa, looking at me with those cold, calculating eyes. She thought she had already won, but she forgot one very important thing about me. Before I was a stay-at-home mom, I was a data analyst for a major insurance firm. I knew how to find what was hidden, and I knew how to make things disappear. I didn't call a divorce lawyer. Not yet. I called an old colleague who specialized in digital forensics. I need you to mirror a drive, I told him, and I need you to find the private keys for a cold storage crypto wallet. While Simon was at the gym, I was at the bank. I discovered that he had used my forged signature to take out a second mortgage on our house. The money had been moved to an account in Evelyn's name. They thought they were being clever. They thought by putting the money in her name, it was shielded from the divorce. But that's when everything changed. I found a loophole. Evelyn was receiving government subsidies for her senior living assistance. By accepting $50,000 a month from her son, she was committing Social Security fraud. And I had every single wire transfer receipt. I waited for the night of their victory. Simon told me he had a big announcement to make at dinner. He'd invited Evelyn over. The table was set with the fine china. Simon looked nervous, but determined. Evelyn looked like a cat with a canary in its mouth. Maya, Simon said, clearing his throat, we've had a good run. No, I think it's time we admit that we've grown apart. I've already filed the papers. You'll find them in the foyer. I know, I said. I didn't cry. I didn't even look surprised. I took a sip of my wine. And I've already filed mine, I said. Evelyn let out a sharp, mocking laugh. Oh, honey, you can file whatever you want. Simon has been very careful. You're leaving with the clothes on your back and the car in the driveway. It's for the best, really. Actually, Evelyn, I said, leaning forward, let's talk about the best. I pulled a tablet out from under my placemat. I've already notified the ERS about the mortgage fraud, I said, and the Social Security Administration about your gifts, Evelyn. This should be at your house by tomorrow morning. The color drained from Evelyn's face so fast it was almost comical. What are you talking about? Simon hissed. Hammond hissed. The UC drive, Simon. The one in your jeans. I mirrored it. I have the voice memos. I have the crypto keys. And since you used our joint home as collateral for the fraud, the court is going to find that very interesting. You can't prove anything, Simon said, his voice cracking. I already did, I replied. I've already moved the crypto back into an escrow account held by my legal team. And since you attempted to hide over $2 million, the bad faith clause in our estate means I'm likely to get the entirety of the remaining estate. I looked at Evelyn, and since you were the mastermind, I'm sure the prosecutor will be interested in how much of this was your idea. I thought that was the end of the conversation, but it wasn't. Because that's when Simon did something I'll never forget. He turned to his mother. "I told you," he yelled. "I told you she was too smart for this. You ruined it. You ruined everything." He wasn't a cold, clinical mastermind anymore. He was a scared little boy blaming his mother for getting caught. I stood up. "The movers will be here at 8 tomorrow," I said. "For your things, Simon. You can stay with your mother. I'm sure you'll have plenty to talk about in her new, much smaller apartment." I walked out of the dining room. I could hear them screaming at each other, the sounds of plates breaking, the sounds of a 12-year life finally shattering. What happened next shocked our entire community. Simon lost his license to practice accountancy. Evelyn had to sell her home to pay back the government and the fines. And me? I realized that the freedom fund I'd reclaimed wasn't just about the money, it was about the air. For the first time in a decade, I could breathe. I didn't get the gold bullion, I didn't get the offshore stocks. I got the house, the dog, and a future where nobody was whispered in my husband's ear to destroy me. And that's when everything changed. I realized that the best advice a mother can give a son isn't how to hide. It's how to be a man worth staying with. Evelyn failed him, but I didn't fail myself. Powerful final ending line. He thought he was playing a game of chess with a pawn, but he forgot that the queen is the most dangerous piece on the board. Betrayal is a poison, but the truth is the only antidote. Have you ever discovered someone you loved was secretly planning your downfall? Share your story in the comments. And if you're ready to see more stories of strength and justice, hit that subscribe button. You are stronger than their secret.